Welcome to Beyond HR, the podcast for people-first leaders who know that HR is about more than checklists and compliance. I'm Paige, your co-host, and we will explore the real challenges shaping today's workplaces. From burnout and belonging to strategy and storytelling, we're bringing you honest conversations, practical insights, and a fresh take on what it means to lead with heart in the world of work. Before we dive into our episode, here's a quick word from our launch sponsor.
If you're feeling stretched thin, juggling big changes, emotional labor, and communication breakdowns, you're not alone. Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Kaplan, founder of Bring Disc to Life, an online community for aspiring leaders and HR professionals. We give you the strategies, tools, and encouragement to communicate in ways that increase your influence while lowering your stress. Using DISC, the 5 behaviors, and mindfulness, you'll learn to stay grounded, read minds, and frame your message to influence others. We have live workshops every month, group coaching to unpack tough situations, and tons of easy-to-use scripts, strategies, and resources that you can apply right away without adding more to your plate. So come refuel with a community that gets you and wants to help you speak your truth in a way that's heard. Join us at confidentcommunicator.com and click on community. That's confidentcommunicator.com. Lead yourself and others will follow.
HR professionals are often tasked with navigating change, guiding people, and fostering culture, all while maintaining their own well-being and clarity. So today, we're exploring how inner guidance, intuition, and energy awareness can help leaders, HR professionals, and teams thrive in a more mindful, human-centered way. So we are honored to have Sharon here. I have known Sharon for years at this point, and I love all of my conversations with her. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She is a spiritual guidance practitioner. She's an intuitive coach, an energy healer, and she blends spiritual insight, mediumship, life coaching, and Reiki to help people access clarity, purpose, and resilience in both personal and professional life. So welcome, Sharon. Seriously, I am so excited to have you. I can't even say it.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and talk about all this.
Awesome. Yeah. So, Sharon, we ask the same question of everybody that we interview. So who would you say you are at your core, and what fuels your passion for the work that you do?
At my core, I am someone who wants to help others connect deeply with their inner guidance, and not someone that's seeking guidance outside of themselves. I've always been drawn to understanding things that are unseen, things that maybe are unexplained, and I want to help people do that for themselves and not have to seek guidance out through other people. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense?
Mm. How far back do you remember feeling that calling, for lack of a better word?
Asked me this.
Yeah.
So I guess it was about 2 or 3. And I know that sounds weird remembering, but I do. I remember having an imaginary friend. Mm-hmm. And that person has been with me ever since. And she's there all the time.
Yeah. Priscilla, right?
Priscilla. Yeah. I never knew, she wasn't real, quote unquote, kind of thing. So, and then my family just was like, oh, that's Sharon.
Yeah.
So I know that for a while there, though, we all have had those moments of our imaginary friends. Mm-hmm. What do you think made your experience with that imaginary friend be that much more connecting to where she's stayed with you and you remember her? Because I can't remember my imaginary friend. Even if I try to go back in time, I know I had one because my mom tells me you used to talk to this unknowing entity thing.
Mine's not even a friend.
No.
Mine's not a friend. He's a creepy little thing.
Right. Sometimes it's not what people consider a friend.
I wish.
But honestly, I think it's things that I experienced in my childhood that she may have felt like I needed that extra person, and she just never left because of those experiences I had as a child. Where other people have them just for a moment or a time, or, for what they need in that moment. But you can definitely tap into that. Well, like, you don't have to just say, I don't have them anymore. Like, that's somebody, that inner knowing. So think about that. Have you ever experienced something where you were just, how did I know that? Or who just called my name? Or, things like that. That's them.
Okay.
You just have to sit with it.
Yeah, I think as adults we tend to maybe to your point, we tend to
try to
rationale it like it's my conscious, or it's my, maybe it's a little voice inside of my back of my head telling me how to do things or not do things, and not so much frame it in it's my friend that's there reminding me. Yeah.
Which is
the inner child is what
spirit guide. That's my terminology for it. But
I like spirit guide. Yeah.
It's a spirit guide.
Yeah.
And the way you can tell the difference is the way they speak. Is it your voice? Is it a different voice? Like, I don't sound like Priscilla. She sounds a little different, or is it, would I use those words or would I use that terminology?
Okay.
Interesting.
So more so the way that she
Presented.
presents itself, So like the talk that I had earlier about our self-talk and how we define our worthiness. It's almost like that we tell ourselves we're not worthy, but maybe in your case, Priscilla tells you that, yes, you are.
It's a lot of yous. Like, so you'll hear a lot of you are or things like that. It's never I. And it's never negative.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So how would you say you got started in like spiritual guidance, mediumship, energy work, those types of things?
Really, it started out as a curiosity and a lived experience. So I've always been really intuitive, and I knew early on in my life that I had a different way about me, or feeling things or sensing things that were different, like we just talked about. And I kind of just moved it through different seasons of my life, and both professionally and personally. But I found myself relying on that more and more and more, and trusting in myself. So where a lot of us, we just, like we were just saying, oh, is that really me talking or is that somebody else? You just you have to believe in yourself. But yeah.
So what are some of the personal experiences that, you're willing and comfortable to share that shaped your approach to helping people find the clarity, balance, and overall fulfillment in life? Because this life thing, it's hard.
Yeah.
Some experience, they're just really subtle things. It doesn't have to be catastrophic or thrown at you. It's just really subtle things that help me gain that clarity. And it would be just when I was in the professional world, let's say it that way, or in the corporate world, we'll use it that way. If I would see like things about people or their energies, you can see those subtle changes in someone, and I would reach out to them and actually talk to them about things. And you can't get personal. I understand that. You can't get too personal, but just holding space for someone. So some of the experiences that I had in the professional world is holding space. Even if that's just an open door policy, come on in and talk to me. But that's and I found that I have really good connections with people because of that. Now, if you're talking about spiritual experiences, Paige.
Both. Whatever you are comfortable with sharing.
Like haunting experience. No.
Oh, gosh. No, maybe I don't want to hear that one.
No, I'm just kidding. Spiritual experiences for me is with my children. The personal ones would be how I would sit with my kids and allow them just to be themselves. We talked about this, earlier, but that my experiences would be with holding space for my kids.
I love that. Honestly, I found myself the other day. It was like a very odd feeling, but I just sat there and just watched both of the girls, and I was like,
Right.
what am I doing right now? And I was so hyper focused on what they were doing, and I was like, oh, that's really cute. I didn't know they knew that.
Just
Yeah.
holding space and
Yeah.
being present.
Yep.
That's
And just
so
watching.
important.
Yeah.
But that's important for every type of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Just allowing yourself to be there
Mm-hmm.
in that moment. Because we're all going a mile a minute, right? Like we
Mhm.
have so many things that are in our head, so many things that we're thinking ahead of time for. Just be present.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
know that's hard, but
It is
if we
hard.
can slow down,
Yeah.
be mindful, just be present.
Yeah. In our profession, too, I mean, a lot of people deal with these types of things, and we're typically the ones in HR that are just kind of present there. And but we ask, a good HR professional is going to ask, do you just want to vent, or do you want some possible solutions, or how can I help you? Because sometimes there's moments where people don't want the help. They don't want solutions. They just want somebody to hold the space for them
Right.
to actually just listen. Sometimes that's the best way. Sometimes they don't even know what they need. And so
No.
I just sit there and say, fine, just talk. Just let me know what is going through your mind, and maybe I can provide a solution. Maybe you'll feel better after talking with me, and we'll just play it by ear.
That's mindfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
it's crazy because I know, and we talk about this all the time with our kids. And I think more and more and more, the older my 5-year-old's getting, she's gotten in this space where she'll have an issue or something bothers her enough to where she doesn't know what that is.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, well, what's the matter? It's like, I don't know. And she'll start crying. And I'm like, well, what's going on? It's like, I don't know. And it's one of those things where I've caught myself a lot more recently. Like, you know what? Did you just need a hug? And then she'd be like, yeah. It's like, okay, I don't know how to help you, baby girl, but let me just give you a hug. Let me hold you for a minute and we'll figure it out.
That's holding space.
But it's crazy because through that experience, I find myself doing that crap at work now.
Right.
Mhm.
Because at the end of
Be
the day,
careful.
like they're
Well, not hugging.
not hugging
but-
people. Yeah. High five. But a metaphysical hug. Touche. No, but I find myself sometimes doing that at work, or even outside of work, and just adult relationships, just being in the mindset of like, because I'm a fixer, and I know I'm working on that. It's one of those things that I'm like,
No,
okay,
it's hard when you have a healer energy.
yeah, and it's like I just want to be like, okay, I know I can make this better for you. Just listen to what I'm telling you. Just do what I'm saying, because I know it's gonna be better. But then it's like, no, stop.
But we have free will.
Yes,
And we do
just
as we
stop.
please.
Exactly. So stop. Allow that person to be there. And one of the things that I'm trying to work on now, is asking questions to allow the person to go through the maze themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes so much effort for me. Like,
It's
but I
a
know
lot
it's
of mind
ultimately,
work.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's a lot of brain work. It's crazy because you have to think about what they're potentially going through,
Mhm.
and then you have to figure out a possible fix in your mind very quickly, and then take them down the path, and maybe that's not the fix, and then you have to start all the way around. That's like with kids.
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, I don't know how to help you. What's going on?
Mhm.
And so, like, are you hungry? Are
Yeah.
you tired? Are you sad? Are you blah? And that actually helps them try to put feelings to whatever is going on. And then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, let's get you a snack. Great. And you're tired? Let's just go sit in bed. And then you can just eat there. That's
Mhm.
fine. I don't care. I'm going to pick
Yeah.
my battles today.
Yeah.
It helps them, though, like emotional regulation,
Mhm.
essentially, trying
Yeah.
to figure out what's wrong, because adults are the same exact way.
And
We
that's
like
my,
to think we're not.
and
We
that's my
are.
whole point is the
absolutely.
fact that I'm learning how to deal with human relationships or adult relationships.
Mhm.
Excuse me. I'm learning to deal with adult relationships by watching how I'm dealing with my kid.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And again, to the point that we were talking off mic earlier, I'm learning how to live life through her lenses now.
Mhm.
And it's so, one, scary,
Mhm.
but two, just the realization of like, this is the fifth kid, but I'm 2 years old learning through a 5-year-old's lens.
Inward retrospect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I always say.
And
Look inside.
It can be very overwhelming sometimes.
Oh,
It is,
sure.
but look inside, because and how do we want to be treated is how we should treat other people.
Mhm.
And that's really hard for people to differentiate between, is this my feeling or is it their feeling, especially if you're intuitive.
Oh, yeah.
But the
And like
crazy
you
thing
said about wanting to fix
Yeah.
people, you know, so
But the crazy thing about even that statement, because I've heard that statement so many times, treat others like you want to be treated yourself. If you don't freaking know how to treat yourself,
right.
True.
then how are you supposed to even treat other people?
Inward retrospect.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
So
one thing that understanding the whole concept of your self-worth, again, what we just recorded earlier, understanding that, you are good enough, that you're not perfect. You might lose at something, but doesn't make you a loser. You might fail at something, but doesn't make you a failure. Like, just taking the same word, but attaching it to an event, not this is who I am.
Yeah.
It's that's the challenge that we're going through. But if it wasn't for the 5-year-old bringing that stuff to the surface, like, I would be like, what the heck,
Yeah.
some of the stuff we talked about off mic
Yeah.
would be the reason why. But
Yeah.
navigating personal growth brings it into professional
Mhm.
settings.
Yeah.
So that is really, really important. And that's what I do
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
in my profession, is to help people.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So how does spiritual guidance and intuition intersect with both professional purpose and fulfillment? And how can HR folks kind of navigate that and help folks, even themselves?
And even before you answer it, though, I do want to. The question, I'm pretty sure you're the one that came up with this question, but I love the fact that you correlated. Like, I'm having a hard time putting into words because I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. How you correlated the same exact two traits, but from two different lenses.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of times when you throw the word spiritual, some people get like safeguarded and like, oh my gosh, here we go. No, whatever, fill in the blank with whatever spiritual thing you want to talk about. But in essence, I'm rereading the question. Spiritual guidance is intuition,
Mhm.
purpose, and intuition is fulfillment.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just reframing the word differently, it becomes spiritual versus professional. It's just crazy to me. I know it's a side note, but
So I will ask the question again.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Sure.
So how does spiritual guidance and intuition intersect with professional purpose and fulfillment?
Self-awareness.
Mhm.
All of that it comes together with self-awareness. So think of intuition not as something that is abstract. Okay, it's not. Intuition is it's an internal feedback. So what we're feeling is what we're experiencing. Think about that
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
So if we're
It's that
feeling,
gut
if we're in a good
feeling
mood,
that they tell
say-
you
Yep.
about. It's intuition, essentially.
Yep. So if we're feeling in a good mood, we're, intuitively we're feeling good about something, that's where we're going to project, right? So it's not an abstract thing. It's actually a feedback from the internal system. Okay.
Mhm.
So that actually helps us recognize what our values are, our strengths, what our weaknesses are. And I really feel like in this profession, in HR profession, if we just sit with ourselves for a moment before we react.
What does that look like? Because we're all about practical doing. So what does that look like?
So I think sometimes when we're in a professional environment, we disconnect from our inner guidance. We react instead of take a sec, slow down. So if you're given, something comes to you and you have to fix it, like, because you guys are fixers, right? That's what you guys, HR people are
Mostly.
fixers. So instead of reacting on like a knee jerk reaction, sit with it for a second. And look at it as in a broad range. So, okay, this is how I feel right now about this. How can I slow down and see it from all angles? So what that person's going through, maybe what the the manager's going through, things like that, and sit with it for a moment and just kind of survey the perimeter, for lack of a better term. Just survey it and see it from all angles first instead of knee-jerking reaction. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Yeah.
And sometimes people want such a quick piece of advice, and when
you can't go through the motions.
When I tell them, give me a few days, I really need to think about this one. There's a lot going on in this scenario, and I just want to make sure I'm thinking of all of the pieces so I'm not giving you the wrong information, right?
So the best thing maybe would be, okay, this is don't ever say my initial thought, because we're working off of knee-jerk reaction,
exactly.
right?
Yes. I don't like initial thoughts.
Right. Nope. Initial thoughts can get, but, maybe give them something that they can, what you're intuitively feeling. Like, I feel we can work this out. I think when people come to HR, and look, I'm not in HR. I mean, I was in the professional world for a long time, but I'm in the spiritual world now. So people want to be seen. They want to be heard. So maybe the knee-jerk reaction first would be, I hear you. I see you. Give me a moment. And even check-ins.
Yeah.
Even if you're like going through the motions, and I don't know what you guys have to do and what your procedure is, but people want to feel like they're being heard, because again, intuition isn't something abstract. It's an internal feedback. So we're in higher alert. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where did the idea come from that only certain people have intuition?
No, that's fake.
Where did it come from, though?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't. I've heard so many things over the years.
Yeah.
Everybody has intuition.
Because as I hear you talking, the phrase, the words that come to mind are, intuition is a spiritual muscle that if you don't exercise it, and you're never going to be able to use it.
That's not true.
People just don't listen.
There's some, right. And there's some people that are more in tuned. How about if we use that?
Okay.
They're more in tune to their intuition than other people. Some people are just so clouded and jaded that they can't allow themselves to be open and free to that suggestion. It would be more, it's a personal thing. I think every single person that walks this glorious earth has intuition.
Okay.
Every single person. They just, it's some people are better at it, I guess.
Would there be something that you would say is a good starting point to try to develop, or not develop, because we already established it's there, to become more aware and continue to grow that aspect of themselves?
Develop is a good word.
Okay.
You can, the best way to do is trust yourself. A lot of times people don't have discernment and they automatically think it's a negative thing. A lot of people live in the negative, right? Oh, woe is me kind of thing. So the best way to enhance it or extend with your intuition is trust yourself and not always think this is a bad thing or a negative thing. Because sometimes our intuition isn't always the most glorious, bright light, eye-awakening thing. Sometimes our intuition is, that person's not so good. Or maybe this isn't a good job for me or something. Do you see what I mean? So it can be negative, the intuition, but it's a positive thing to help you.
Sure.
It's a way of looking at things.
Yeah, and I hear the intuition is almost like a guide for good or bad. It tells you don't put your hand in the hot water or go ahead and pick up the roses. Okay, but it's one of those things where, like, being able to, I guess, challenge yourself to when you feel that tug and it doesn't fit in the environment that you're in, fill in the blank.
Which is scary.
Relationships.
Right? Scary.
Parent relationships, romantic relationships, work, whatever. What do you do with it?
It's scary when you're like, is this me just thinking, so say your intuition says this is not a good relationship. Let's use that. Okay. Immediately what you feel is, I'm just overthinking it. Or then you go to, I don't want to be alone, or I don't want to have to start over.
Fear. Yeah.
Fear.
We
Right.
talk about that often.
Yeah.
Fear.
Fear is a very
stops
powerful
a lot
driver.
Of things.
Hmm?
It's crazy how
Yeah.
much that actually stops. We call it the F word.
But no, it does.
Fear.
Yeah.
So, but it's a positive thing in the end because they're telling you to just think if you move away. Let's say you go with your intuition and you get out of that situation. Let's just say, look at all the positive that's going to come after that. Yeah, it might look kind of cruddy or muddy or cloudy for the first several weeks, maybe a couple months. But in the end, you're like, wow, man, I'm glad I did.
And it's hard for people to even see that because it's like that's the future.
They get stuck in a rut, is what I feel.
Well, I think we also get programmed too. We get programmed to don't question things too much. And I think that's a societal thing too. And then if you do question it, did you give it enough chances? Did you give it enough time? Or are you quitting on something? Are you just giving up so quickly, so soon? And then all of a sudden, you're 5 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later, in the same situation because of the fact that you're questioning, and then you're looking backwards 10 years. You're like, man, I should have left 8 years ago. Yeah.
Right. I hear that often from people. It's like, man, I'm so much happier now.
But in the professional world, in the HR world, if you create that space where, if organizations, I guess, would create that space for reflection and intuition, giving them the opportunity. I really feel, maybe I'm on a soapbox, but I really feel like if companies would be more open to allowing people to have that mindful space, even if it's just an offshoot room that isn't being used and somebody could just go and just sit with themselves for a minute. Sometimes we just get overwhelmed in a situation and we just need time to reflect.
Yeah. That's
just
fair.
saying, that's my soapbox.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And I feel like if you sit with yourself, you can actually find more so inner clarity. And then once you find inner clarity, you can actually be a better
feel valued.
Right. You can. And it's funny. So I work for a place and we have a cry room. And so that's essentially, but the cry room is not for what you think it's for. It's for children if they are crying during a mass or something like that. I think this is what it's for. But they can go there and essentially it's not, and they can actually watch mass on a screen. But but I'm like, because then they can actually just sit and have their moment. What if they do that for employees? Have a cry room.
Yes. Mindful room.
Interesting.
I might need a rage room for mine though.
They have them.
Yeah, but I mean, like an inside. Like I thought about that. One time I joked about it. I was like, we need to just like build this like 10 by 10 room in the side of the warehouse and just close it in, soundproof it, and you'd be like, I'd rather you go in there and break stuff than beat somebody up.
That's too much of a workers' comp issue. Trust me, because I went to a rage room before for my mom's bachelorette party. It's so funny. I was like, oh, this is a grand idea. I actually got hit like right above my eye.
Oh my God.
With a glass shard that
oh my God.
somebody hit with a bat, and it popped me right above my eyebrow. No. And my mom's like, oh my gosh, you have blood on you. And I'm like, what? I do? And I'm like, oh, that's good. I thought I got hit in the face.
That's funny.
Too much of a workers' comp.
Never mind. Dang it.
Don't do the rage.
But I have an actually alternative for that rage
Go for it.
Yeah, I love tapping.
Yes.
Tapping.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are listening,
sorry, you guys are hearing us tap.
No, so for those that don't know what that is, I know what it is, but for them to know, explain it in brief terms. What is tapping and what does it do?
Tapping helps open up our chakras and our medians that are in our self, and certain acupuncture points too.
Yeah.
A lot of reflexology points. So if you use tapping on your fingers, tapping on your feet, I like doing the head tapping. For me, it's the pineal gland, the head tapping.
Yeah.
But that's another alternative for that rage because
Can I tap somebody else?
No. Well, I mean, you guys are the ones that work in HR, not me. So I don't know what the rules are and the policies.
Okay, maybe this might not be like
just
work
tap my
appropriate,
foot.
but
I mean, I'm doing it right now,
No.
but it's a thing. It helps me
It's a
regulate
soothing.
my
Yeah.
own body.
No, there are times that employees come in, I just want to be like, come here a second. Pop, pop.
Yeah. But you could say, hey, look, maybe even talk to the organization and say, maybe we should think about bringing in somebody for mindfulness, and,
Yeah.
and employees can sign up for it. And it would be something that they can teach the tapping and the
Meditation.
And I'm tapping.
yoga.
Sorry if you
No,
guys
you're
hear
good.
that, but because I do that a lot, and I've taught my children to tap,
Yeah.
help regulation. Just saying, that's an alternative to rage room.
I have a couple employees that came to mind. I could be like, come here a second. Can you just stand? Don't move. Just stay there. Just
Tap, tap.
pop, 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 pop in the forehead.
Good.
How many taps to the center of Tootsie Pop?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I know, Sharon, you offer like Reiki type of work and energy clearing work. How do these practices support people through stress, transitions, or even burnout in their careers?
Saying about like mindfulness,
Mm-hmm.
corporations bringing in somebody that can teach mindfulness or just sitting. And it's not a religion or anything, so you don't have to worry about, any of those kind of constraints. But it helps that nervous system kind of settle and reset.
Mm-hmm.
So some things that people can do, maybe out there in the listening world, if they want to sit with themselves and kind of clear their space. And what does that look like? That can be music. That can be smell.
Mm-hmm.
So think of your 5 senses. Those things can clear. In the professional world, in medicine, they say when you're having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, what do? Find 5 things in the room and all your senses, right? For those 5 things. That's what I teach. I teach people to kind of feel themselves, have verbiage for themselves. Just like we said, like you said about your children, are you hungry? Are you tired?
Paige, are you hungry?
But it's like that.
Yes, I'm hangry right now, actually. Angry. Oh, it's such a good phrase, and it's so true. My girls get it super honest. I feel so bad for them, but I can always tell when they're getting hangry. I'm like, girls, I know you're getting hangry. I'm also getting hangry. This is not a good combination.
Girls.
We get hangry.
Girls. Boys are so different.
Really?
Yeah.
Boys are so different. They're just like, yo, when's dinner? That's their hangry.
And
or us say,
Yo,
are you going to eat today? Like, I have not seen a single bite from you all day.
And
no, I'm
instead,
playing.
we just throw fits. We just throw ourselves on the ground.
Yeah.
Actually, myself, I'm talking about my kids. Oh, boy.
no, the
boy.
boys are not like that. They forget. They forget.
It's practice.
Girls just don't know. And they're like, oh, yeah, I think I am hungry.
Long as they have their Dr. Pepper, I'm done.
That's
Boys are
funny.
so different than girls.
Yeah.
And you have 2 boys?
I have 2 boys,
Yeah.
and I have a daughter, a bonus daughter.
Oh, okay.
And she was different than the boys.
It's always fun.
It's like,
And I have 2. Oh, and they mirror me. And, well, they have a little bit of both of us, I think. They got some tendencies, poor things.
Yeah.
but yeah, you're right. Well, like there's like, hey, did you eat today?
Yeah.
Or you go up there and there's like 15 million bowls.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're like, oh, there's the spoons and the bowls.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did they eat? I didn't even see it. So, but I feel like if you just show up for your employees, that's what I feel, and create that space for them to be able to release whatever it is that they're feeling. There's some okay, think about today's world and how things are right now, currently. People don't even know if they're going to have a home, so that can carry over into work. That energy can carry over into work.
Yeah.
That energy then can bleed onto other people that person's coming in contact with without even speaking a word.
And they don't even know it's
They
happening.
don't even know it.
Yep.
It enters the aura. It enters the space.
Mm-hmm.
So when we as professionals see something's shifted, something's changed, because we need to be open in our intuition, right? then we need to have a reset or a cleanse. What's that look like? Well, if I'm cleansing, I'm going to use me some sage and stuff. But you can't
we have that at the house all the time, everywhere.
You can't use that at work,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
typically. So some of the things you can do is have an upbeat activity.
Let's do a craft together.
Although, by the way, depending on the place, I know that
funny.
my current employer, I can't do it because it's a food grade, but my previous employer, I did have sage essential oils with a diffuser.
Or the sprays.
I did have that.
Right.
That's I was able to use some of that in my
Right.
doorway, almost like to ward off demons.
Yep,
I'm gonna
ward
put
them off.
some-
But
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Use music.
Mhm.
You know, you can even use bells. You know, in my office, in the professional world years ago, in my office, people knew I had a bell that sat at the end of the desk. If they were I had a bell and I had a drum. Just one little drum. And they could come in and just kind of ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ding, you know, and clear the space. Okay, that's all I needed. I just needed to ring something, you know, or let me hit on the drum a little bit.
Throw the bell in somebody's back.
You know, it's because, you know, Sally Mae come in here and she's not feeling well today. So it's got everybody's energy down.
Yeah.
So energy releasing and clearing. But for us in the professional world, you in the HR, especially because you're the go-to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're holding all of this, okay? So like for all of the listeners, think of us holding these big bricks on the top of our shoulders.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to have you imagine it because you're doing it every single day. So how do you clear that?
Yeah.
Music, a bell.
For you personally, how do you clear that?
Yeah, so like any HR type of person or
this
anybody
is-
that's kind of holding that.
This is I love this.
Exactly.
So I do a lot of visualization, and I teach a lot of visualization, allowing that white light to kind of come down and just cascade over us, or a waterfall, a glistening waterfall. And I know some people are listening and are like, oh, I can't do that. I can't visualize. Because I heard that they have like a 1 to 5 apple thing. Like if you can see the apple or you can't see it, whatever that is. If you can't close your eyes and visualize it.
Yeah.
So if you have a hard time visualizing, I suggest that when you leave your office, you kind of turn back and you just shake your hands. You have to leave it there. And I know that some people are listening and say, well, that's impossible for me. Then do it when you get in your car. Keep doing it. Because when you go home, you have to be present there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think it's crazy that our profession has been conditioned to go against that.
Carry everything
Because
all the time.
Because, you know, and as I'm doing it, I'm holding this, you know, because of the emails that come in or the text messages that come in or like phone calls, especially like in the non 9 to 5 type facilities.
That's why I left that.
Yeah.
life.
And you're constantly in that you need to be on the go mode. I know for me, like one of the things that I started doing a little bit ago, and it helps a little bit, not 100%, but it helps a little bit, is giving myself at least a span of time to do that, knowing that from the time I get into my car, this thing is off. On top of the fact that it's nice that it's legal to text and drive now. Yay!
Yeah, I can't.
But like the phone's off, I'm done. I'm gonna be in the car. We'll listen to music because even with my kid, that's what we do now. Like we don't do anything else. But how was your day? Everything good? What did you learn today? Good. All right, let's pop the music on. We got 20 minutes to get to the house. And giving that space, knowing that when we pull into the driveway at the house, that crazy part of the world is going to start in that door. You know, because we have animals.
So shake
and we
it
have,
off at the door.
Yeah. So being able to give that space.
I have a question for you, Will.
No.
So when your kiddo starts singing in the car, does she ever start doing that?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
all the time.
Does that make you feel like you're actually calmer at that point when you're hearing her?
Yes. Yes. And I think for me, it's because I'm more in tune and aware now that is her way of receiving source and her way of giving that vibration back. It wasn't always that case. There were times that I would be like, in the past, I just want some silence in the car. Stop singing. Don't want to hear right now. And with prior kids, that's kind of was a little bit of that. again, with her being here for a
Mhm.
reason,
Right.
she has allowed me to be more present. And there's times that I'll have the radio on like 3 or 4 volume levels, so it's like background noise, and she'll start singing some random song that's not even on the radio. And like now my initial instinct is just turn the volume down and just to listen to her. And if I know the song, guess what? We're being stupid in the car while she's singing it and doing crazy dances while we're driving.
Yeah.
If I don't, then I'm just kind of there. There was one time that she looked like at the rear mirror, was like, "Papa." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "What are you looking at?"
That's so
You know,
funny.
and I'm like, "I'm looking at you." It's like, "Why?" Yeah, why? It's like, I don't know. I'm enjoying you dancing and singing. Just keep going. Don't stop. But that's been a learned behavior for me
Present.
because it hasn't always been that case.
Goes back to
Joiner.
being present.
Yeah.
Joiner too,
Yeah.
because I'm telling you, it releases so much.
Endorphins.
Yeah, and I sing with them. So we were talking earlier off mic about the movie K-pop Demon Hunters.
yeah.
And so, you know, some people really love that movie, some people just don't. But what anybody can't deny is that you probably like the songs that go along
Oh,
with
yeah.
them.
Straight up.
And I'm telling
You can't not dance.
I sing those songs with the girls now,
Yep.
and we like dance and have fun in the car, and we like jam it up, and they were like, "We heard you're singing, and you're so good, mommy. You need to. Why'd you stop?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize I stopped. I'm sorry." But boy, it is nice.
And even if we're not singing, that like we made it a point or a habit, like at least every other Friday, but we try as much as we can doing dance parties at the house,
Oh,
like
that's
in the
fun.
afternoon before we go to bed. Like that's
Yeah.
part of our like our wind down routine,
Yeah.
which honestly winds her up more than winds her down, because at that
yeah.
point she's like, oh, energetic. It's like, yeah, let's go. She looks like those girls in the show, yeah. But at the end of the day, like I know for me that I need to allow her to be in my driver's seat when it comes to that. Because if I allow myself to drive that emotional car, I'll crash it. And Nixon, my 5-year-old, Nixon is the one that, oh my gosh, I can't on a daily basis, I lose count. Has been the one that brings me right back into it and allows me to, hey, Papa, we need to sing our song. It's like, which one? We have like 50 million songs. You know which one? I'm like, no, seriously, which one do you want to sing? And then we'll sing it. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, that feels so good. Thank you, kid. Like, what else do you want to sing now? Let's go.
So it's interesting. You all asked me that question, right? And then it stems into you giving examples of what you do for other people that are listening.
Yep.
You know, and it's important. Say they don't have children to be able to experience that with us, because I did the exact same thing. I used to have dance parties at the stoplights or stop signs,
Hey.
and
Those are the
our
best.
kids were getting out of the car.
Oh my
I
God.
do it by
Safeness.
myself.
With
It's
the
so funny.
safeness, okay.
Yeah.
I was safe with my kids. Nobody come at me. And we would dance, or we go to a parking lot and we just get out and just dance to
Get the wiggles
Boogie
out.
Woogie or whatever,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But for people that don't have children to be able to see that lightheartedness, I suggest don't shelter yourself in your home.
Mhm.
So people in this profession, anybody,
Yeah,
but you know, we're trying to direct it to
Sure.
this, is go out with friends.
Mhm.
Find that one person that you don't even need to, you're not talking. You're just going to go out and you're going to sing karaoke.
Force yourself to go to networking events, whatever that looks like. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
business. Like, even to your point, going to a karaoke bar, that is a networking event. You're networking in a
Just
different context,
go.
but allowing yourself to do that. Yeah, for sure.
Not a library. I had a client say, well, will a library work? No,
You can't talk
that
in a library.
doesn't work. They're like, well, why? You know, and I'm like, well, you know what? If it does, if books make you feel that way and gives you that special feeling, then sure. But I'm talking about being around other energy that you can just kind of get the muck off you,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true. That's
Sense.
you know, a library.
doesn't sound like fun
No.
to me, but
Go to dinner with
to
some
each their own. To
friends.
each their own. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It is. And you know, if
Yeah, yeah.
that is a safe space or a place that they can just go and get lost, because
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, because sometimes people get lost in books, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Fiction.
Yeah.
I was just talking about that the other day. I like to actually decompress at the end of the day now by reading for just 10 minutes. That's all. Because I do like red light therapy at home and that kind of stuff. Maybe that's why I'm looking better. I don't know. Red light therapy.
No, we're attributing it to your energy. That's being different.
Okay,
All right, we're good.
I agree.
It's coming from red light though. I'm just kidding. But truly, like I can lose myself in that book and I'm like, I don't have to think about anything real in life right now because I'm so engulfed in the book.
Right.
But I limit that to 10 minutes a day because if not, I would continue to read. I would force myself to do it. And I'm like,
right, because it feels good.
Yeah.
Endorphins are kicking on that one.
So we need to find the person, a thing or a person or a place like that. And I try to stay away from finding your person to do that because, again, it's something that you need to do internally for yourself. But
and then you can find
mine's Heyday.
Heyday?
What is that?
It's a game.
Oh.
It is a game.
11
years ago, my children and I, the 3 kids and I, well, yeah. We've been playing this. I have not stopped. It's just a silly Facebook game.
Oh,
and you create a farm and you have a village and you have a town and
like
that's right.
Yes, it is. And you have to do things. So that's mine, like I have to limit because I look down and I'm like, it's been 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So I have to limit. And now that I'm not, my children are older. So I'm like, how do I clear my space? So find that balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you do have to find the balance because your endorphins are pretty high at that point. But okay, so I know I could talk to you all day. I have a few more questions for you, and if Will wants to chime in. So one of the things I'm kind of curious about. So if HR leaders were open to spiritual insight as like a complement to psychology or culture work, what practical steps could they take to incorporate more awareness, self-understanding, and human readiness into their organizations?
Like we spoke about mindfulness, place that they can have that mindfulness, or even call in practitioners, make sure they're experienced and professional.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how
giving you the look.
Validate that.
Research.
Or Sharon.
Oh, well.
Yeah, there we go.
Or I can help you find somebody. But so just.
We can do a shameless plug. It's okay.
And we will do a shameless plug later. So get ready to talk about yourself.
So I think really, creating those, a seminar maybe even.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Think about this. What do we see on social media? A lot of
negative.
Well, negative, like, yes, but I mean, but it's also an open box.
Sure.
Yeah, open forum. Yeah.
That is true.
It's open for people to learn mindfulness and to learn inner retrospect and things like that. If we could bring that into a company and offer that as something for their employees instead of a pizza party.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I gotcha.
If a company is open to that, I'm telling you, there will be a lot of people that are, are like, I want to try that out, even if I'm skeptical about it, even if they take away one little piece of information from it. Just a nugget. Little nugget.
You can always take a nugget from everything you hear, but you have to listen.
We say a little drip.
You have to listen.
Yeah.
Oh, a drip of water.
A little drip. Yeah. That's what I say I do. When somebody comes to me and they want, life coaching or spiritual guidance or spiritual development, I'm just putting a drip in your cup.
And then what you do is up to you.
We'll create a whole cup full of water or a river or an ocean. I'm just giving you drips.
Mine's an ocean by now, Sharon.
Wow. It's been a long time.
Thank you.
It's a long time.
But I just feel like if companies would be more open and receptive to things that could better the company in a long run, because what happens? Happy employees make happy company.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Where would we be without the employees that work there? Right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. We're nothing without them.
They need to be heard and seen. And they need to be given a space.
Yep.
So even if that space is in a conference room
Mm-hmm.
and somebody's saying, hey, this is how you tap,
Mm-hmm.
So you might see all your employees walking around tapping. So what would be really great for management or in, higher leadership roles is to see if everybody's walking around tapping. It's like, okay, I think we need to pull something back here and figure out things.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I think this would be great for the managers too, because,
Because they hold a lot too. I mean, we talk about HR holding space all the time, but boy, the managers out there, they are holding that space and then giving it to HR, right? So they're the
being passed. Yeah,
It is.
That's why I find myself changing more like HR to people leaders, because in anything else, like HR is an aspect of that and part of the umbrella. But like at the end of the day, anybody that has to do with overseeing or dealing with people or being the absorption cup for people or absorption sponge, it's the same principle regardless of the fact.
I just call you guys leadership roles, all of you together, because leadership roles mean you're just taking on the
and you're taking
responsibility
care of people.
Yep.
Taking care of people.
Yep.
So how would you say that you see the future of work changing as people integrate this stuff more so, like spiritual guidance, inner guided practices, intuitive awareness into their life? How do you think that it could change the future of work?
I feel, like I said before, happy employees make better business. So if we're giving out the spirituality part of it, let's say we're holding space for somebody, people will be more open to say, I'm not happy. How can we fix this? Because they feel safe in that environment of not being... People are scared, guys. They're scared of losing their job. Again, we go back to that F word that you were saying.
Fear.
So if they don't feel like there's an open space for them to be able to say their concerns without fear of losing their job.
Yep, it's true.
If we create that space, what will it look like? We wouldn't have all this turnover rate. We wouldn't have people that are just going through the motions of the day and not giving a productive, whatever their production is. Do you see what I mean?
This goes back to, like, I don't know if I ever mentioned this to your page before, but like my feeling that HR departments should be composed of two people. One person that has indirect, no bias in regards to I have to follow company policies for anything, to be that person that receives that.
Yes.
And then one person that deals with the policies part. Because I feel like sometimes
so great.
Our position has been, I feel, compromised in a sense a little bit, because we can, but we're discouraged sometimes to not fully allow a person to just feel and express what they're feeling. And you have to do something about it because
I know.
And it's almost like there's no like actual safeguard to say, whatever you say right now to me, get it off your chest.
I know.
To get yourself to feel good. We're not going to do anything with that, because part of our unfortunate responsibility is making sure that things
run smoothly and everything's safe.
Right. Or
I totally
because
get that.
the one feedback I always get, well, if something happens down the road and you knew about it, then that's on you. And it's like, fudge. Yeah, but if somebody comes in, balance? Exactly. And that's the part that I've been racking my head around that for many, many years. But I think that's the only place where I'm like, we need almost like an HR, like a feelings HR person and a policy HR person, where that person that's in the policy can just, their administrative function is there. And then the feeling person is there to receive what's happening, do the help with the emotional, mental stability of that employee. Maybe all they need is to scream at somebody, and you're in that moment, there to let it out, like a mini rage room, right?
Right.
But if somebody says, "I just feel like I want to punch Bob,"
right? You can't
not be like, "Oh, yeah, we gotta talk about that because you can't be punching people, and that's the threat." Like having that, allowing that person to express how they feel, because they may never punch Bob.
No,
it's just that in that particular moment, they're very, very frustrated about the situation and the position that they're in.
That's what a therapist is for.
Yeah, but unfortunately, not everybody can afford therapists.
And that's
You're
why I
right.
said if companies can bring in
Yeah.
people that are, have that spiritual background, which is nothing to do with therapy.
Mhm.
I'm not a
Mhm.
therapist in any
Yeah.
way. So with that spirituality, maybe give Bob the tools, or
Whoever wanted to punch
Whoever
Bob.
wanted to punch
Whoever
Bob.
wanted to punch Bob.
give them
By the way, Bob
tools.
is a very loose terminology that I'm using here. I just
Oh,
realized
yeah.
that I do have an
Yeah.
employee named Bob.
Oh,
but,
gosh.
no, nobody
He
wants
is
to
not
punch Bob.
talking about
No.
Bob. Put in this
Yeah.
little disclaimer here. This is not about any particular Bobs, and
This
it's
is
just
not
the
a real Bob.
hypothetical
Yeah.
Bob.
Right. So, but if Sally Mae was given the option or the tools to know what she was really feeling, instead of saying, I just want to punch Bob, she can
Mhm.
say, I feel like I'm not being heard.
Mhm.
Again, it goes back to your girls. Are you hungry? Are you tired?
Yep. I am
They
tired
can
of this.
speak what
Yeah.
they're feeling. So I work with clients to be able to, with expression,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I do with clients. I'm like, what is this feeling that you're having? See, now I'm
Yeah.
all over. I'm like
Oh, yeah.
going crazy here because I want to speak so much about stuff. But so instead of, what is the real feeling? What is the real emotion? So if that person came to you and was like, I want to punch Bob, yeah, you have to deal with that because that is a threat. That's an HR thing. But instead of him coming in saying that, he can come in and say the true feeling.
Well,
I
sometimes
feel like I'm not being heard.
And sometimes I think for me, like where I go with that is like, they'll say the initial statement, I feel like I want to punch Bob. And I'm like, why?
Right. Yes.
I feel like there's something
perfect for you
underlying
guys.
there.
It
I feel like
always
there's
is.
something
Mhm.
underlying. You are feeling a lot right now.
Yeah.
And so just
Right.
try to explain the best way that you can. And I know that it's really hard to explain these things, right? Because I'm also human. That's
Yeah.
one thing that I always tell people, like, I am a human being too. I'm trying to figure out life just like you all are.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm here to help you, but also you need to navigate your own feelings too.
You can't
And we have to
automatically
figure
go
out
to
the
Yeah.
root cause,
Mhm.
right? The underlying thing. If somebody doesn't like the word root cause, maybe something underlying. What is
Yeah.
underlying that?
What's Yep.
because anger is not the real emotion. That's not ever
No.
been a real emotion.
Yeah.
Anger is
We've learned that recently. Yeah.
Right.
Anger is almost like the byproduct
it's a
of the
byproduct
emotion.
of
Yeah.
a sub emotion.
Yeah.
So, and
Interesting.
working with your clients or your people or whatever you call them,
Yeah.
working with them is giving them the verbiage
Mhm.
of what I'm really feeling. And then that goes back into
Yeah.
corporations or HR going to their guys and saying, hey, I think, how if we bring in this
Mhm.
or bring in, yoga or something. I mean, there's so many different modalities that can be used
Yeah.
to help give people. And you know what? You might not get anybody that they're scared
Yeah.
or they're afraid of being looked at differently because they're going to a tapping class.
Yeah. And that's where
Do
we
you
have
see
to
what I mean?
we have to show up in a certain way as the people trying to break into that. And
Mhm.
again, one of my challenges, because kind of we were talking early again
Yeah.
off mic, we're bringing all these traumas from childhood, adolescence,
Yes.
young adulthood into the workplace. You turn 18, 21 and you're working somewhere. But if nobody ever taught you that it's okay to feel, that it's okay to express, it's okay to do these things,
Right.
then even if somebody comes to you and says, hey, why don't you try tapping with me? Well, I don't want to do that.
Like,
Why
what
would I
is
want to do that? Yeah. Like, well, it's really going to help you out. No, that's okay. That's some crazy spiritual voodoo stuff that yeah.
Woo-woo. That's what I hear a lot.
And
It's woo-woo.
Yeah. I know. I heard that earlier today. That's funny. I don't know where the hell did this woo-woo come from. Woo-woo. To me, it sounds like a party. Woo-woo. Yeah. But that's automatically placed in that bucket of like things that are taboo, I guess is the best word I can think of. But
it's just different.
Yeah.
It's different than what people would think of off the top of their head. And that's sometimes hard because sometimes people go down the path of not wanting to think. And so it's
a lot of work to
kind of
think.
goes back to that woe is me type of thing because it is
Yes.
hard to think. It is hard to think about what is actually wrong. And sometimes you don't want to hear what is actually wrong.
Or you don't want to do the work.
Exactly.
I think
That's
actually
hard.
that's a lot. work.
I get that. You
Yeah.
know, people want to, they come to me, because I have all these labels, right? Like I'm like all these, I got all these titles. Woo. They come to me and they just want me to remove or get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this off mic too,
Mm-hmm.
Just get rid of it. Just give me the answer. Just, I can give you the tools.
Mm-hmm.
I give you the tools and then, what you do with it. Remember that drip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that drip in your cup.
Mm-hmm.
So when people go to get Reiki, where they're clearing space and working on your chakras and your aura and things like that, that practitioner isn't they're not necessarily clearing your area. What they're doing is they're reading your energy and then giving you a synopsis of what they've come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give you suggestions. Based on this chakra, whatever, it's connected to this and that.
Yeah. I think it's crazy because
Tools.
we can talk about this forever with me,
I
but
know. I can talk.
one of because I'm an analytical person, like visual, and one of the things that I recently came across is comparing those chakras and all that to like electrical circuits in the house, and understanding that each point deals with a different electrical circuit, for lack of a better phrase, of your body.
It does.
But it's really easy if you go to a doctor and say, hey, I want to lose 500 pounds. Okay, too much. I want to lose 30 pounds. Well, yeah, you have to exercise. Watch what you eat. Don't eat so much salt. Drink more water. And blah, blah, blah.
Right.
They don't, I mean, they could give you a pill.
Salt.
But yeah, they don't come to you and say, yeah, hey, come to my office one time and I'm going to give you the solution to get rid of all your weight. No. It's you have to put in the work by following these things if you want to be able to lose the weight and keep the weight off. Right. I can give you a pill that might help you temporarily, but then you're depending on that pill.
Right. Tools.
Exactly.
So people in my profession, they give you the tools, the drip, and then you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's not cut and dry.
Yeah. And one of the things that Mel Robbins, I don't know if it's her phrase, but she says that has been saying a lot in my YouTube feed, is whenever the discomfort of being in the place is higher than discomfort of changing, that's when you'll take your thing seriously. Pretty much, I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
So you have to be more uncomfortable in being uncomfortable,
right,
than uncomfortable with the idea of working for you to finally do something about it.
Right. And HR people are the people that this is what I'm seeing. I can't give a full solution because you guys are solution finders, right? You're supposed to be solution finders, but say you can't. And then how do you feel about yourself? Right. Yeah. So you have to say, I'm not a solution finder.
Yep.
I'm a gatherer of information.
Oh, that's hard.
You can't be the fixer all the time.
Yeah. No, I know. It's hard.
You're an information gatherer. And then you give the information. It's not always about solution.
It's the way that you're helping the person is very different.
And each person's different because it's based on their needs, their energy, the situation, right? And you're reading the room, per se. So it's really important for you all in the HR world and leadership role. Let's just say leadership role, because even hopefully managers are listening to this too, and corporates.
Yeah, we have a lot.
It's not about fixing the problem and not about finding the solution all the time. It's gathering the information to make it a better space. Okay.
I'm soaking that one in for a second.
Soak it in, be a sponge.
Yeah.
And think about it. Just sit with it.
Drip.
Just sit with it.
Because we can't, there are some employees that we're going to get that are just never going to be happy. It's never. And
they have to choose it. Yeah.
It goes back to them.
Yeah.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Here's the information. I'm giving you all the information you need for help or whatever the situation is, but I cannot fix this. I'm not a solution for you.
Yeah.
Now, it took a lot for me. Well, seriously, it took a lot for me to finally realize that in life because of my profession. I want to clear space for everybody. I want to fix everything and everyone.
But you can't.
But you can't.
Yeah.
And I've learned that. It took a long time, but I'm old. Just kidding. Took a long time.
So let's start to wrap up. So sad to say that though.
Yeah.
But a few things to kind of close us out here. So if listeners could take away one powerful insight from you, it could be something that we haven't even talked about today, but something that's burning for you to say, something that could inspire them to live or work with more purpose. What would it be?
If there's one insight I leave with listeners, it's this. The clarity, purpose, and fulfillment you're seeking already exist within you. We look for that outside resources. We look outside of ourselves for all those directions and validations, when really the answers are just inside, and we have to listen to it and be open to receive. I always use that term. You know that, don't you, Paige? Be open to receive. So I want you to pause, tune into it, and then if you have to, sometimes we have to just let it go. So my saying is always sit with it, examine it, and then let it go. And let it go might not mean that you're not, what I mean is don't carry it. Okay. So I want you to know that you can always just listen to yourself because the answer's there. And like we said earlier, some people are just scared of what that answer is and what that looks like. So if one thing is yourself,
Yep.
don't seek out other people to fix you.
Yeah.
I love that. So we like to do this at the end. We were talking about a shameless plug there. But,
sucks.
you took a lot of time with us today, and, we hope we give back to our listeners. I know we will, but also we want to give back to you too.
Of course,
so seriously, this is about you. So where can listeners connect with you? And then do you have any upcoming things or that you're working on?
So you can find me on Facebook, Guidance and Insight with Sharon. I have a TikTok.
We got to get you on TikTok, girl. I was thinking about that earlier. We got to get you on there.
I think
I'll host you. I'll be your MC.
At Medium Sharon. I think that's what it's called on TikTok. But Instagram and Facebook, I'm old school. Can you tell? Well, don't be judging me.
You did drop a MySpace account, so you're good.
No. You know what?
That's true.
I still have my username and password on MySpace. Is that even a thing anymore? But anyway, at Guidance and Insight with Sharon, a lot of times I just do pop-ups, and things like that. But so I do have a lot of stuff in the works, and I'm not going to come out and say everything yet. Okay.
She'll tell me after, right?
Right. There are some things coming in, and they're really exciting things.
Awesome.
A lot of self-help stuff.
Yeah.
But just be watching because I do like pop-up things and fun times. I even do classes and workshops and things like that. But this new exciting thing's coming and I can't tell you guys.
So sad. I want to.
Maybe after off air.
There you go.
Yes, off air. I give the scoop.
So that gets you guys to come back from work. That's it.
Well, because when things are still kind of plug and play in the back, you don't want to
what did they say? Not overshare. That wasn't the right word. Wow. I don't want to. I just want to keep it for myself first.
No, you're good.
Understood.
Put it in safe space. You're good.
Nope. Understood. Well, Sharon, thanks so much for your time.
Definitely.
We
Thank
really
you so much.
having me, guys. This was so much fun.
It's fun.
And it was great. It was great. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Beyond HR podcast. We hope today's episode inspired you to reflect and grow in your own HR journey. Connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Beyond HR Podcast. If you found value here, share it with your fellow HR professionals. Until next time, keep making an impact on yourself.